Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. Today I want to show you how to use several UV maps for the same object. I sculpted the Harkonnen Baron from the latest Dune movie, and I used the UV map for his face and a separate UV map for his cloth. If you want to pose your sculpting, you have to reduce your high poly sculpting mesh onto a low poly mesh, but you want to preserve the details and surface information. Therefore you bake the normals, and you want to apply these normals onto your low poly mesh, and therefore you need a UV unwrapping. You find your UV maps under Object Data Properties and UV Maps. For every object, Blender creates a default UV map. It's normally called UV map, but you can add with these little plus icons your own UV maps. The default UV map is always active for rendering by this icon here. This means that the texture coordinate nodes always use the default UV map for this UV output. We can switch it to the UV wrinkles, and now you see the pattern on the cloth is messed up. And this is because the entire shader relies on the default UV map for this output here. I used the UV wrinkles map for the folds and wrinkles of a cloth to bring it to our low poly mesh, and in the shader I use the UV map node, and you select the UV map from this drop down menu here. I created a new UV map test, and in our UV map node we can already select this new UV map. It appears in the drop down menu, and now I go to edit mode. I selected a few faces, and we can switch to UV editor. Make sure your right UV map is selected in this drop down menu here on the right side. And now we can apply a UV unwrapping. And now you can work with this UV unwrapping in your shader, or for example in texture painting. You can also use the UV maps in texture paint mode. When we switch to the panel, you can go to your tools properties, and in this upper area here you can select your UV maps for texture painting. That's the end of the video. I hope you find this video useful, and see you in the next one.